Hey everyone, it's Tuesday, May 25th. The time right now is 4:36 p.m. and the temperature is 28 degrees Celsius. This is Eastern Avenue I'm heading west on. And that was the intersection of Eastern and Cherry where I started. Well, Cherry Street to the south and Sumac Street to the north. And there's a look east towards the Canary District. And just up ahead here is the foot of Sackville Street. And for this one, I'll be starting at the south end of Sackville and heading north all the way up to where it ends right near the Wellesley Cottages and Cabbagetown. It looks like there's a new development going in on the west side of Sackville there. And this is Inglenook Community High School. And this building actually goes back to 1887. So there's some local history on those boards there. Looks like there used to be a separate wing just for girls. Be pretty cool going to school in a heritage building. So Sackville is mostly residential homes. There's some commercial mixed in, mostly near the major intersections. And here's a notable home. Pierre Berton worked there from 1977 to 2000. A lot of the homes we'll be going by date back to the 1800s. And what is this? That is crazy old. It's an old school Land Rover. You don't see too many of those. I don't know what year that is, but it's got to be going back a fair ways. And this is King Street East just up ahead. As per the sign, we are in Corktown. So this walk will take us through 3 different neighborhoods, Corktown, and then Regent Park, and then into Cabbagetown. Let's just cross here. And we're in for a bit of a detour right now, as this is where Sackville gets cut off. So this is the Sackville playground, and as you can see, I can't go any further north. I'll have to take a detour to where Sackville resumes, just north of Adelaide and Richmond Streets. They've got the splash pads working. It's the first time I've seen that in a while. I remember at one point last year, this park was kind of roped off. So now I'm heading east along the north side of King Street East. And I don't think these streetcars are going much further. Or it might be going as far as Queen and Broadview. I know from Broadview Station, both the 505 and 504, 504 being the King streetcar, the 505 being the Dundas streetcar, have been replaced by buses right now. There's a neat wine bar, Gusto 501. It looks like they've got a nice rooftop space that's waiting to be reopened. So this would be Richmond and Adelaide we're heading under right now, and they merge into Eastern Avenue. And I'm pretty sure this is the reason why Sackville gets cut off. I can turn right or left here, right onto Bright Street, and find my way back over to where Sackville restarts. And 1 block to the east of here is Sumac Street. And Sumac also gets interrupted. Well, it kind of has 2 different starting points, which is rather interesting. Oh, this is a neat street. I don't think I've ever been on this street before. Ooh, that home. I was about to say it looks like it's leaning back, but it seems to be just a design feature. This is very picturesque. And there's one of the more modern homes on the street for sale at 23 Bright Street. And here is the Bright Street Playground. So I think I can cut through here. Tribeca Lane North. So this takes me to a street called St. Paul's, I think. And just at the south end of this street is where Sackville starts again. So we've spent most of our time so far not on Sackville. And briefly here, Sackville runs east to west. It's possible at some point these homes were workers' cottages. The Corktown name, this area is named after, originated back in the 19th century, as this area was an enclave of mostly Irish immigrants, many of whom came from Cork County, or County Cork. I always get those two reversed. There's St. Paul's School. And now we start to head north once again. And you'll notice, for the most part, this is a one-way street, although it changes directions quite a few times. Oh, there's a squirrel who seems to have a peanut. There is 91 Sackville Street. It's a rather cute front yard. That's a worker's cottage style home. And here is Queen Street East. And that's a 501 Queen Street car. And we're entering Regent Park. So goodbye Corktown. These are some of the older homes in Regent Park. Much of it is a planned community that goes back to 1948. It was built as a series of apartment buildings. However, the design was not the best. It sort of found itself as a bit of an isolated community from the rest of the city. And it quickly grew a reputation as being one of the poorer and more crime-ridden areas of the city. So as of 2005, the city has started to revitalize or redevelop Regent Park. And that is the area we're about to head through. So this is Shooter Street. There's a look at the Regent Park Community Center. I think just a block north of here, there used to be an old community center. That's right next door to... Very cool, guys. That's right next door to the Nelson Mandela Public School. So this used to be all these low-rise brown brick buildings that we'll be going by some of the few remaining ones later. So the idea with this redevelopment, which I talked a fair bit about in my video where I walked through Regent Park, and I'm actually trying to recall some of that information. But one of the ideas was to create a mixed community of market rate condos as well as affordable housing and rent geared to income housing. There's a look at the north side of the school. I don't know if I can get out if I continue through this way. Maybe, but I'll just head back this way. So a lot of the residents were temporarily displaced. All these new developments went up, and they were moved back into much newer but smaller homes, and that's one of the criticisms of the affordable housing in this area. And it was particularly difficult for larger families to be forced to live in a smaller spot than where they were. And there's a similar redevelopment happening in Alexandra Park on the city's west end. This is the east side of downtown. Just heard my keys jingling around in my pocket. I'm just going to shove them in my wallet. Sorry about this. Just don't think you guys want to listen to keys rattling. There we go. And just on the right part of this building is part of Centennial College. And this is Dundas Street East. She's having fun. And there is Regent Park itself. There's an aquatic center. That's a look west towards the heart of downtown. And here is, I don't think I can pronounce that probably, but a church that was founded in 1910. It seems to be a popular spot amongst the city's pigeon population. Maybe we can take a quick detour over to the park. Here's a community garden. That's the Aquatic Center straight ahead, and that was built as part of the redevelopment. I think along with the community center, it opened around 2012. There's a nice semi-shaded area. And these are the buildings that used to make up Regent Park. Or the same style. But most of them have been torn down, and these ones are next as part of the next phase. I think Tridel is the developer. And this is Oak Street. There's a really neat old documentary on YouTube called Farewell to Oak Street, where you can see what this street was like before the Regent Park redevelopment in the original one in the 40s. The area had regressed pretty much into being what you could characterize as a bit of a slum. And that's what caused the city to redevelop it the first time. As you can see, it's really more of a mini towers in the park type scenario. I think this building's completely abandoned and ready to go. Maybe all of these older ones have. No, there's some cars in the parking lot across the street. This area all used to be part of Cabbagetown, which is North America's largest collection of old brick Victorian-style homes. There's another area that was redeveloped just to the northeast of here called St. Jamestown that also had a lot of the old Cabbagetown-style homes that we're about to walk through, and that's one of the reasons why Sackville is one of the nicest residential streets in the city, is this part coming up. I was debating between doing Sackville or Sumac, which is just to the east of here. I chose Sackville for reasons I don't really know, but I'll do a walk through either Cabbagetown or Sumac Street at some point. But from here on in, it's going to be all older, nice Victorian style homes. Just got to wait for the traffic signal here. That streetcar says 505 Dundas to Broadview, but I don't think it's turning north at Broadview. So that was Gerrard Street East I just crossed. And there's a look south down Sackville, and there's going to be a number of heritage properties coming up. I'm sure I will miss a ton. But a lot of these homes go back to the 1860s. There should be some workers' cottages coming up. I go back, here they are. So this would have been the 1800s equivalent of lower income housing. Those were built in 1879. There's a rare modern style home in this neighborhood. You do research on nice walks to take around Toronto, Cabbagetown will almost always come up. And that is Spruce Street. Maybe I'll hop on over back to the other side. Here's a rather nice house. That is 322. There's people all over the place, but that's one of the advantages of a one-way street. And this one here has a sign on the top. That says Jubilee Terrace, 1887. And this one usually has a pretty spectacular Halloween and Christmas setup. And that is the Francis Shields house. And this one goes back to 1876, believe it or not. Those little free libraries seem to be rather popular in this area. And here is Carlton Street, so you could take this west over to Yonge and Carlton. That'll take you past Maple Leaf Gardens on the way. It looks like this one could be used as a corner store. And Riverdale Park. Well, the western part of Riverdale Park is just to the west or east over there. And these homes, $395. That's the Alexander McLean house. And this one here is the Christopher Lean house. These both go back to 1875. I don't see any heritage plaques on them. That's kind of neat. That one I just looked at and said was kind of neat was the John Ward House, going back to 1873. So those would be the names of the people who had lived there. I do have a small list of street numbers and dates on my phone that I'm looking at, in case you're wondering where I'm getting this info. Well, that one has a heritage plaque on it, 411. That is not on my list. I normally just try to remember basic facts and relate to stuff that I just kind of already knew about or through my personal experiences. I thought it might be neat to have this little list handy as I walk up this part of Sackville. But I think you guys get the idea. Most of these homes are dating to the late 1800s. Here's Winchester Street. This is a rather nice street. And I think if you were to follow it to the east there, that'll take you to Riverdale Park West on the right and the Toronto Necropolis, which is an old cemetery. And that's where Jack Layton was buried. This one's got a plaque on it. It says Heritage Building, 425. Couldn't quite see the date. Maybe I'll give that part a rest. I'll put my phone back in my pocket. And we'll just continue to the north end of Sackville. So the city of Toronto sometimes designates entire areas as having heritage status. And I imagine that would be the case here. So it's not just the individual homes. And that makes any type of modifications rather difficult. It also means you need special insurance that can rebuild and restore the home to like, kind, and quality if anything ever happens. You can't just put up a modern home in its place if there was a fire or something like that. And that kind of insurance is kind of pricey. You have to have an appraisal done to determine the cost of all of the possible repairs, or a rebuild using similar materials in the same style. And the number of contractors that can even do that sort of thing isn't so great. And they're quite expensive. It's one of those lost arts. So I would imagine most of these homes are just with a handful of different insurers that specialize in this area and these kinds of homes. A lot of them, pretty much every single one, I think at some point would have been completely gutted. And this is Wellesley Street East. And just to the north of here, beyond that wall, is the St. James Cemetery. Here we go. I'm not sure how far I've walked, but That was from the foot of Sackville Street all the way to the north end. So it's a little bit of a different walk for this channel. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you liked it, if you want to see more of this type of walk. And there is Alpha Lane. There's some people in there, so I'm not going to get too nosy. Let's finish up by taking a quick look at the Wellesley Cottages, which I think are just into the right here, if memory serves me right. These were old workers' cottages. Here we go. You'll often see this street mentioned if you look up Cabbagetown walking tours online. They are small, but I bet they are very expensive. All right, I'm not gonna head down into all those people. We'll just walk south to Wellesley here. You are much faster than me. There's nothing to worry about. And here we go. I hope you enjoyed this walk. Let me know your thoughts below. And if you would like to consider channel membership, you can check out the link on my YouTube page as well as Patreon membership. They're both kind of the same thing, so don't do both. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.